I'm back. Can you hear me? I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Nobody's here, but I'm here. Mm. Mm. Yum. I'm here eating grapes. I'm going to choke to death on grapes. Choking. Have you noticed as you get older, as you get older, you choke easily? I think it's because everything loosens up and doesn't quite work fast enough. And so, I love black grapes. They're just the right sweet, but not too sweet. Yummy. And they have to be seedless, because I'm not going to mess with seeds. I am spoiled. I got to tell you, when I was a kid, my big thrill, my parents got married too young. We were always on such a tight budget. I mean, it was a struggle for my parents. And so for me, hi, Pat, and Bonnie's here. I hope Michelle found us again. But I can remember the big thrill was taking a paper bag and going to find the local, what are they called? Honeysuckle vine. And I would grab off a bunch of stems of flowers, put them in the bag, come back and sit on the front porch and carefully pull out the stamen and hope to get that little tiny drop of nectar. And now, if my grapes have seeds, that's too much work. But have y'all noticed it's easy to choke? I've heard of that too. If you have too much indigestion, it scars your esophagus, and they have to go in and stretch it out. Hey, Michelle. We're talking about the not very pleasant side of getting older. So, okay. Let's go back to, and I guess it was me. Somehow I had to come back in. My camera said that the microphone was working, but I figured if all three of y'all had the same problem, the least I could do, I went ahead, got off the live feed, shut my computer down, restarted it, and I figured that way I was doing the best I could. But I hated to lose. We were having a good time, and I hated to lose that. So I'm going to turn back on my bright light, my daylight bulb, and so you can see the blocks better. Yeah, just think, y'all could put Mickey Mouse voices in and say, oh, doesn't she look silly? But me without my voice, oh, please. I have been told so many times in my life, Deb. So, okay, here we go. Now, some of these colors are kind of odd together. I'm just hoping that the cumulative effect will moderate them. And, to show you again, here's a narrow border, but this is the fabric I started out with. And I wanted to say, too, I am terribly sorry if this is blurry, please understand, I have horrible internet service here, very slow. And I noticed when I was trying to reboot and come back on, it was slower than normal. So here is another one. And this is kind of lime and chartreuse. Some interesting colors. This is pretty simple. And I tried to use some Jenny Byers. Like the center of that is Jenny Byer. Okay. And I didn't know how it was going to work, but chartreuse, this is a deep solid purple. And then this. And here's another one. And it was good to use some of these fabrics because some of them aren't the best quality. I tell you what, go through your stash and you realize how far fabric has come in the last 30 years. A long way. So, here's another one. Another purple. This one's blue. And this is blue and lavender. And get ready. And this is what I consider like the ugliest Jenny Byer print. It looks like a thumbprint. That's what the fabric is like. And it's in this terrible, it's baby poo diaper, yellow gold, whatever, putrid. So, and I put it with the chartreuse and purple. It looks blue to y'all, but it's purple. Now, the other blocks, and I was trying when I was making the video yesterday, because I was trying to putting the blocks together, a bit of it, and I couldn't remember what the terminology is for blocks that are made in such a way that when you put two of that type together, they make a secondary design. But this block, having a wide center and narrower edges, I couldn't quite remember what you call that. So I've got to go look it up, I guess, do research. But here, so this is the second block. And you'll notice that they do join and add a secondary. See that kind of like that big arrow point between all the yellows? So here, and remember when I was making these, I had, oh, Becky's on, yay! You're packing book bags and watching me. School starts tomorrow. Hey, Becky, do you remember the Staples commercial? Oh, years ago, where they used the music, The Most Wonderful Day of the Year, and the dad was standing on the basket with his leg out in the air. And so he was like celebrating that these kids are going back off to school, and the kids were walking behind him, kind of all. That commercial made me laugh for years. So, yeah, I'm having internet issues too. It's very slow today. Oh, you remember that? Yes. It's the most wonderful day of the year, or time of the year, and he was so happy. So, okay. All you see is a blur anymore. Oh, I have an aura. Oh, thank you. I thought that I was worried my aura might be this baby poop greeny yellow. But I'm hoping it's blue, like my favorite color. Sure. So anyway. Oh, my daughter's feeling like that dad a little bit, but feeling a little bit sad. But Becky's got her own classroom this year. She is teaching English and catch-up studies for the first semester. So, yeah, I understand about that. Oh, and I'm showing on my blocks. So I took the border print and cut it into 4 triangles, cut it in identical triangles as much as I could. I was kind of low on fabric. And then I made, because I took, hold on, I took this border print, and depending on where I cut it, it made all these different designs. And now that they're in a block, I think they're pretty cool. What do you think? So, yay for Becky, although she doesn't pause long enough in her. She's teaching ketchup. Oh, she is teaching. Becky, how would you describe it? She's teaching some remedial courses, and like her first period course is for students to make up work and points, you know, for their grades. But no, she's not teaching ketchup. You're so funny. So Bonnie, it looked like from your mail you work at a college, so you know about education. Oh, do you know, after years of making fun of ketchup, especially back when the Reagan administration was going to consider ketchup a vegetable, I read that ketchup is actually pretty good for you because it's so many tomatoes in it. So, oh, here we go. And Bonnie, yes, I'm so proud that you work at a university. That's wonderful. Becky said she's teaching 2 classes of sophomores that need some help with reading before they head to English 2 next semester. And if anyone can help them, my girl can. She went to the dollar store and had such fun. She bought pom-poms and she bought wrapping paper. She has decorated a classroom because it was sterile. Who can learn in a sterile atmosphere? So she's made it just as beautiful. She put up sparkly lights. I mean, she's tried to make it a very fun place for those kids to spend their time. Yeah, thank goodness for dollar store. Oh, my gosh. Okay, online classes to catch up on credits. Thank you. So poor Becky, Bonnie thought I was saying you were going to be teaching how to make ketchup. So, although I bet you sometimes at the end of a day, that's what you feel like you're doing. Oh, thank you. I tell you what, my kids are so creative. I think they've gone a step further than me. Oh my gosh, maybe she won't mind if I put up some pictures of her kitchen. She had the most butt ugly, I'm sorry, Becky, but it's the truth. The truth can hurt. She had the most butt ugly kitchen. I hated going in her kitchen. It was so butt ugly. And smashing tomatoes, yeah. But this summer, she, being on a teacher's budget, did a complete do-over on her kitchen. It's amazing. She even used this paint finish on her counters that made them look like a granite. And her cabinets, instead of being the woman who used to live in the house, as she got older, she didn't clean her cabinet. She just put another layer of varnish on them. It was nasty. Then Becky had to scrape and sand and all that. But she painted them 2 colors of the prettiest blue, and her pantry she painted yellow, like sunflower yellow. It is striking. So she did a great job. It was quite the transformation. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Mark and I were like, oh my gosh. It was amazing. Oh, yes. I asked if she was going to come over and help me do mine, but she kind of just got this glazed look, and I think she started to drool. So, oh, okay. So more blocks. I figured every few minutes I'd at least have to talk about quilting. Oh, you're welcome, Becky. I got so excited at her gumption. I love to reward gumption. And so Mark and I bought some sheets of beadboard, and we took it over there and put it up for her, and she painted it. And it's beautiful, and it's on her backsplash. And between the beautiful color she used and the painted beadboard, it's just beautiful. I know, I talk endlessly. Hey, Becky, tell them I don't really talk that much. Oh, gosh, now that my daughter's on, okay, she'll tell you. I didn't believe in spanking my children. And there's a long story to that from past with my mother. But I thought I've got to find a new way to parent. But Becky will tell you that there were times that she would have rather me spank her than give her one of my mama's lectures. Oh, gosh, it must have been torture. We can talk a Blue Streak. And I get so excited. Oh, well, you know, the funniest thing is on my personality profiles, I'm an introvert. And I think that's why I love doing those videos so much, because I can sit here by myself and be very friendly and enjoy y'all. And then when it's all over, I go back and I'm quiet again. Yeah. See, Becky's telling you the truth. Those lectures were horrible. Oh, what was Michelle's question? Oh, what am I going to do with the block? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll finish these real quick. This Michelle, in fact, I have a picture. See, I've just bounced off to something else. I'm not at all attention deficit. I don't think I am. Becky, I'm not anybody. Okay. I am like the little squirrel that goes, ooh, there goes a nut. There's a bright and shiny object. But this is a Mary Mayhem. I don't know if you remember her, Michelle, but look at this quilt. I said, that's my kind of quilt. So she did a free mystery, and this will be for sale on her site. She had it up until 2 days after the mystery, and then you can buy it. It's Mary, M-E-R-R-Y, Mary, like holiday, mayhem.com. But she's wonderful. Melissa's here. Oh, saddles and saddlebags. I assume you're a horse lover? That's cool. Hello, hello. I better keep these glasses on. Let's see. Okay, so I answered Michelle's question, I hope. Thanks for loving the... Oh. Ooh, I love these mirrors. In fact, mine, I haven't put it away yet, so I still have it. If you've never done this before, this is the coolest thing. And you take a fabric. Whoops, got threads on it. You take a fabric and hold on a second. I'm being a little clumsy today. All right. Can you see that? And it's like you can then turn it into a kaleidoscope. And the neatest thing is that it takes one view, multiplies it by either 6 or 4, depending on how far you have it open, and it'll show you if you cut that exact triangle of fabric, what it will look like when you cut 4 of them and put them together. Oh, you're not having so much fun? Well, you know, you can even... Well, actually, I made my first one because they used to be expensive. This one is from Marty Mitchell Marketing. And I only paid $9.99 for it a couple of years ago at Quilt Shop. What I like about it, I think it's not real glass. I think it's like a plexiglass, so I'm not as afraid of it. The real glass ones are very heavy. And it's just taped together with duct tape. It's got the heavy mirrored coating on the back, but I think it's plexiglass. So that's a nice thing. Yeah, it doesn't feel or sound like glass. But so they should be around $10, and they make short work of turning something into a kaleidoscope. So, all right, we finish with these. Oh, you are a horse lover, but you love to quilt too. Oh, great. I had a friend years ago named Paula who loved to quilt and loved horses. Mary May is beyond your Oh, that strawberry quilt was designed by Wendy Shepard, and the only place I've found the pattern is Keepsake Quilting. So look for it there. Oh, and you see what I've got out here too? I figured since I had my strawberry quilt up now, I would show you my watermelon quilt. And you won't believe this. When I went to teach my last class, I realized that of the strawberry quilt, which I just taught this past Tuesday, my watermelon quilt had spent a whole year there. How do you walk away from a quilt shop and forget you've got a quilt laying up there? And I love that one. It's such a cutie. Let me get my chair out of the way. Is that cute? That's just half of it. So, yeah, the watermelon quilt is a pattern by Jill Lilly, Jillilly, Jill Lilly, and she's out of Utah. And so neat lady. Oh, she's been in all kinds of magazines. She's very talented. Quilting is addictive. Oh, I can't wait to see that. Neat. Yeah, isn't that watermelon? Oh, and let me tell you, I know all I've done so far with grapes is choke on them. But I love these black seedless grapes. Yum. This has been my summer of fruit. I have eaten 3 or 4 cantaloupes all by myself. I've eaten 1.5 watermelons all by myself. Mark is not much of a fruit guy. And then, oh my gosh, have any of you eaten the Honeycrisp apples? They are so good. Oh my gosh. They're expensive, but they're worth it. Okay, so here's another one. And this is the Mary, and it's Merry. In fact, let me type it. Mary Mayhem. .com. And of course, you don't have any pauses or spaces in the middle. But this is another block I did. So I think that having these interspersed will look kind of cool. Here is that weird baby poopy yellow. I mean, come on. We've all changed diapers and seen that baby poopy yellow, haven't we? Here is a blue version. And you see this? Oh, the reason this is so narrow is because I wanted that fabric, and these were 2.5-inch strips, and I was supposed to have 3 inches. So I'm going to try my best. I might bring the blocks all down like 1/8 of an inch or something, or 1/4 of an inch. But I'm going to make it work. Hi, Evan. Boy, you love emojis. Are those emojis? Hi, Evan. The kids were over here the other day. I was filming yesterday, and so they were talking during it. And Evan's just fascinated. He loves that y'all liked his busy book. So, okay, here's another block. And I can tell y'all now, officially, my son and his wife are going to have a baby the end of next March. So excited. Here's another one. This is unusual. I'm not sure how this will be. And this. That's interesting colors. Well, it's funny because I've already bought like 3 different things of fabric for the new baby. I'm not excited, am I? Oh, gosh. So they're calling the new baby Peanut. Oops, I forgot to type it. I put Mary Mayhem and then forgot to hit send. Sorry about that. All right. So while I'm talking about quilt things. This quilt is going to be 30 blocks and just blocks. Now, in my younger days, I might have laid them all out on the floor and moved them around to see what order I wanted the blocks in. You notice I said younger days, and it's been a while. So what I like to do, and this is my best tip, and I invented it. Just want to get credit. But what I do is I lay all the blocks on the floor, touching. And it doesn't matter what order. Just put them all down touching so that you have as small a space as you can. Then get on a chair up over them so that you can look down on them as straight as possible. You don't want to take it from standing on the floor because then everything is at an angle. They lose the square. Take a picture of them all together, looking over them. Ladder, chair. You get your neighbor, especially if he's cute. Sorry, I forgot myself. But anyway, you look over them and take a picture. Then you take and download that picture onto your computer, and you crop it to where you only have the quilt blocks. Then you take and print it out on cardstock, preferably. Now, if you've done it right, they should be pretty close to square. And usually mine turn out to be about a 1-inch square. Then you take these, take a paper cutter or scissors, cut out each of those blocks. And then basically you have a puzzle. And you can take those individual blocks and you can put them in all different variations. Sitting at a table, in a chair, not crawling on your knees on the floor. But anyway, that... Oh, now Bonnie's going to complain that if she gets on a chair, she'll break a leg. That's where you go ask a really cute young male neighbor to help. So... Tell us what you do, Bonnie. But I've had people say, oh my God, that is such a great idea. Because it's fun. It's fun to play like a puzzle. And you know what? Have you ever known, those like looking glasses, they'll tell you to use a door peep glass or something? Because getting back from a quilt helps you see the blocks better if you like them or not. Well, having them small like that is the same thing. Gives you some distance, supposedly, because they're small. Okay. Have a great time. Good luck for school, kids. Charlotte and Evan, I hope you have a great day at school. Love you. Mwah. Becky, have a great first day with your kids, honey. I know you're going to be wonderful. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, Bonnie. You don't have any young, handsome, hunky neighbors, huh? Darn. I used to love it when Rosie O'Donnell said she wanted Tom Cruise to come over and just cut her grass. Ride the riding lawnmower without his shirt on. So now, Bonnie, you got to tell me, how do you do, maybe that you're able, do you take some, like, now, if you didn't want to stand on a chair, I guess you could put 4 or 6 blocks, 8, maybe 8. Take a picture leaning over them. So I guess you could do the same thing. I'm so cheap. I always think, I only want to print on 1 piece of cardstock. Smart. Okay, you do this. Yeah, that's great. Yours are 4 inches and then cut them out. Okay. I'm so cheap, I want them all on 1 piece of cardstock and don't want to use so much ink. I'm very cheap. I was the oldest child, so I watched my parents, and I learned to be so frugal. But I've kind of loosened up a little bit. As you know from the fabric. Oh, and y'all all heard, I lost the bet. I went back with Becky and bought more fabric. Mark just laughed. Luckily, he knows me enough to know I'm not going to get too far out of control. All right, so we did that. Oh, let me show you this. This is a quilt that I'm hemming. I'm finishing the binding on this quilt, and then I'm going to be teaching it at Sewingly Yours. So let me get it right. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. Okay, here we go. I'm going to stand up. See it? I forget where I got this pattern. I do forget where I got this pattern. No, I should know. I just found it. Oh! Shoot. I just found it the other day, but I don't have it down here. I put it in my teacher binder. Something leaves. I forget. You like it? Thank you. I think it kind of looks like, it reminds me of obelisks, you know, like the Washington Monument shape, rising up out of the city or something. And, oh, I know what it's called. I just remembered. It's called Gentleman's Agreement. And something leaves. But if you type in your Google search for Gentleman's Agreement, it comes up. And I don't think it's a very expensive pattern. I think it was very reasonable. Of course, it has very little information. They expect you to kind of know a good amount already. So, I'm glad you like it. Saddle and Saddlebags, what is your first name and the name of your horse or horses? Ah, Katie's here. My other daughter is here. And Devin says hi. Hi, Devin. Devin can tell you about the cute little dragon I made for him last year. Oh, hi, Kylie is there too. These are my other two grandchildren up on the Eastern Shore, Maryland. They just got through their fair, and they made like millions of dollars selling bunnies and lambs. And oh, Katie and Devin and Kylie, Michelle. Remember my friend Michelle? My best friend who left and went to Rhode Island and abandoned me? Bonnie is saying hi. There's some really great ladies that come on here. We have a good time. So they don't start back to school until after Labor Day. But then they don't get out of school till the middle of June. So it's kind of, you know, they get you going and coming. New Leaf Stitches. See, that's why I like that Bonnie gal. She's got a lot going on. She's quick. Good job. Gentleman's Agreement. And the original Gentleman's Agreement. Katie, I'm showing them. I think, yeah, I sent you and Becky this picture of this one this week. And I happened, did you actually get to see it? I forgot I had it hanging over so much. And I know what I was going to tell you. What I was going to tell you is that watermelon quilt behind me, I needed seed buttons that look like watermelon seeds for it. 3 per watermelon. I looked, and if you could even find them, they were very expensive, like $3 or $4 a piece. So, like I said, I'm cheap. So I got out my polymer clay, and I made my own polymer clay watermelon seed-shaped buttons and poked 2 holes in them and cooked them in my little toaster oven, and I have like 30 some of them over there. So that was fun. I knew what you meant. So thanks, Bonnie. I tell you what, Bonnie could be doing this. I bet you she would do a better job than me. I mean, she's sharp. She is sharp. So I was thinking if I ever get sick or something, I'm just going to let Bonnie do this. Don't you think? I think she'd be great at it. Yeah, she's good. She's good. So anyway, so I've got to finish, and I thought I would just show you I know that these little pens are all the rage, but they're expensive. These were given to me. That's the only reason I have them. I haven't yet been able to make myself spend that much money on these cute little pens. So what I did is went to Beauty Supply and got these little, remember these? When we used to do our little, you know, pin curls in our hair. This generation, they don't understand that. We used to have, oh gosh, remember the curlers that had like these sharp plastic insides that used to dig into your head? And back then, sharp things break. Bonnie, you're so funny. You would be great. So, yeah, the red clips are nice, but they're expensive. So I got a ton of these that I bought from a Beauty Supply. But kids nowadays, they have electric rollers and electric hair curlers. We had Dippity-Doo. Anybody remember Dippity-Doo? We had orange juice cans that we used to roll if you had long hair to try to get it real straight. Some people used an iron. I was never that brave. And then we had these curlers with these sharp, they were like putting porcupines in your head, and then you had to sleep on them. Oh, gee. I remember when they finally got the foam rollers. I thought that was heaven. I had no idea. Hey, Bonnie, I think I need to wear that needle minder because here is a pen I just found with no thread sticking in the hem of this, the binding of this quilt. But I've got to finish this binding by tomorrow so we can take it and put it in the shop. Yeah, pink foam rollers, they were so much better than those porcupine ones, weren't they? So, now, I've shown you the blocks. I've shown you this. Just so you know, anytime I'm making a quilt, I keep all of my scraps, leftover blocks. If I made too many or decided I didn't like or whatever, I keep all of this until the quilt is fully quilted and bound. Then I take it and either put it in my scrap basket or back into my general population of stash. So that's important. And try not to notice where I hit it with the iron yet again. It's just a little melted. So Katie is my felt artist. I think I told you about Katie because she's been here before. And she's my animal lover and all that. And, oh, Devin has the most beautiful ewe. I think they call her Momo. Did I get Momo right? But she's big, beautiful ewe, and she had a beautiful lamb. So, all right. So now, so do you mind if I sit and cut fabric while we talk? In fact, you know what? Bonnie, take over. You're good. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Let me put this out of the way. Ugh. Tell you what, it's hard to do binding and, work on the quilt in the summer because there's a lot of it. Okay. Don't pay attention to what fell off the desk. Don't look behind the curtain. All right, so I'm cutting out 8 strips of each of my Halloween fabric. You have no horses at the present time. Oh, I love the name Lovely. I love that. Well, I was telling somebody at one of my classes that I volunteer to help them the students cut out their fabric, and I've had to buy them some fabric before. So I've been known to miscut, that's for sure. All right. Let me get all my junk out of the way. Okay. And I want to thank y'all for coming here every Sunday because it makes me keep my room relatively clean. Although if you look at my countertop right above my thumb here, it needs some work. All right. And Okay. I don't know. Do y'all see that on? No, you don't, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get these settings. So stop. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to cut 8 2-inch strips out of my medium light. This is so cute. Whoops. Let me hold it the right way. Isn't that cute? This is my very first Halloween quilt. I've only done pumpkin quilts before. So. Oh, it's not messy? Okay. When Michelle used to come over every week, it gave me a good reason to try to keep it straight. That didn't always make it, but Michelle is so nice now. All I have to do is run a dust mop around the laminate floor. So I don't have a dusty sewing room. Poor Michelle would come over and just start sneezing. Yeah, I love the nickname Lovey. Lovely. Oh, I like Lovey too. So, what is your favorite kind of horse, Lovely? Want to see some cute selvage? Look at the pumpkins. Isn't that cute? I'll be saving this selvage. I save my selvages. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I save them. Okay. And this fabric is Cheeky Wee Pumpkins by Studio E Fabrics. It was part of the fabrics that I got from Pineapple Fabrics. Cutting off both selvages. As you can tell, Bonnie's here because she provides the color commentary. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, y'all are so good for me. I finish these live feeds, and it's like my feet don't touch the ground for hours. It's wonderful. Katie, Becky was here earlier, and I said, Becky, tell them about how y'all felt about my lectures when y'all were kids. Because I told them I didn't believe in spanking, so I had to find something else. And Becky said, oh, gosh, sometimes we just wish she'd go ahead and spank us instead of having to listen to those lectures. Katie especially. Oh, Katie, if you're still here, I'm going to tell them a story about you. Katie, I love the name Kate. I thought it was a strong woman's name, and I wanted my daughter to have a strong woman's name. When she was born, we had a bunch of medical students in there with us, and it was cesarean delivery. She came out screaming. Yes, lots of lectures. But Katie came out just screaming. And I knew exactly what that little baby brain was thinking. I was warm. I was never hungry. And then you yanked me out here where it is bright and cold and noisy. But this little Katie, she's such a lovely, lovely young lady now. But she was so full of, pardon my French, but piss and vinegar. I used to call her my prickly pear. And oh my God, what a joy she was to raise because she was so funny and so spunky. I just was amazed at her. And she told me off. She told me off for the first time when she was 22 months old. I am serious, ladies. This is the child. I had her sitting in her stroller. I went around the side of the house to get some pine straw to spread out or pine needles to spread out in the flower beds. Came around the side of the house because she was 5.5 months, so I didn't have her strapped in. Came around the side of the house and she's standing up in her stroller. That was it. We had to lower her crib. She still crawled out and fell out on her head. And tell you what, didn't dim her smarts any. She is smart. But anyway, she was a mess. So a little attitudinal. Yeah, we love it, though. She always made us laugh. And she's our family keeper of the traditions. She dearly loves traditions and all those special moments and memories. I love it. even though the memory when I grabbed her by her collar, I was so angry at her. But anyway, so she's 22 months old. Now, she was born with a full head of hair and didn't lose a bit of it. So we had to start cutting her bangs when she was 3 months old. She had so much hair. And the little baby hair clips wouldn't even stay on. She had so much hair. And so she looked like this little tiny person. And she was doing something, and we got mad at her. We had told her enough. She turned around and put her hands on her hips. And we told her she had to go to her room and think about it. She turned around, put her hands on her hips, and said, "Dat no big deal." Well, you can imagine our shock of having this tiny person just tell us off. We started laughing because it was just shocking. And she turned around, and as she stomped away down to her room, she said, "Dat not funny." And oh my gosh, can you imagine? I thought, I'm in trouble. I don't know how to do this. But she turned out to be such a dear. We love our Katie. And she just makes me laugh so hard. Oh, okay. Well, okay, I did Greyhound adoption. So it must be like a place where horses race, but it's like a casino. Okay. Oh, yeah, kids say the darndest thing, they do. But, oh gosh, but Katie was a joy. She's just so much fun. And it's so cute because she'll Mom, she'll tell me about something the kids did. "Mom, we didn't do that, did we?" And I said, "Oh, yes, you did." She somehow thought they were just perfect. It was like, "Oh, you have no clue, girlfriend." Casino and racetrack. Oh, that's neat. I had a Katie, remember our ex-racehorse? His name, I think, was Second Chance. And but he had a drawn-in foot. So we had to be careful. We had to just, when I first got him, I was giving him, I had to keep his foot cleaned out and packed with copper sulfate because he had thrush and it was kind of hard to get rid of. But Katie was the only one who could deal with that horse. Honey, I know you say he was a good boy, but he was headstrong. You could do anything with him. Katie had to worm him. She was only 12, and she would worm this 16-hand high horse. Well, I guess, was he 16? Maybe he was 15 too. But she dealt with him. We called her the horse whisperer because she could do anything with him. Oh, wow, Michelle. Wow, that's how Mark and I met, is through doing Greyhound adoption. And I used to get my Greyhounds from a track up in New Hampshire. And I ended up adopting out 200 Greyhounds in 2 years. And then when I got ready to start my new life after a long marriage, I turned the group over to the volunteers in Maryland, and it's still going strong. They're wonderful. If you ever want a Greyhound and you live up on that East Coast, please check into Great Expectations, GREYT Expectations. Wonderful group. That's neat. That is neat. But now Katie has had a donkey. She's had sheep, goats. We had an assortment of poultry. Don't get Chinese geese. The ones with the knob on the nose, they're mean. Toulouse is the best. Those gray geese are usually the gentlest. But I tell you what, one of them with his wing whacked me right in my temple one time, and I saw stars. Okay, got another message. Let's see. Oh, how cool. Oh, gosh, do you have, I'm reading Saddlebag. She decorates horseshoes. Yes, I guess you were oh my gosh, you probably didn't even have to buy them. They probably would lose a shoe, and that's trash to them. Because I think once they lose a shoe, you really pretty much just get a new one. Wow. That's cool. Do you have a website or a web page or blog page that we can come see your horseshoes? That is really cool. I love this. So many different people and so many different, and everybody's welcome here. I don't care if you paint. I don't care if you do, even if you knit. I'm just saying that to tease my daughters because they're knitters. I tried to have a quilter. Charlotte, my granddaughter, I started teaching her to hand sew at age 4. No, she's a knitter. I give up, That's why I need you ladies, because I don't have anybody to talk with. You just hard. But anyway, so now I've torn off these selvages, and what I do, I'm going to be folding this because I use, to cut all these 2-inch strips, I'm going to use my June Taylor slotted ruler. See the slots, you just put the blade in and make short work of it. And if you see up here, you've got 2 inches, 4 inches, 6, 8, 10, and 12. I can get 6 cuts without having to move the ruler just one time. That's it. So now, just so you'll know, oh, Katie, it was so nice to see you and the kids. Devin, Kylie, bye, sweeties. Hope to see you soon. Love you. I love my girls. We're very close. So even though I gave them the lectures from hell, they still like me. I'm lucky. Okay, so here we go. What I was going to tell you, the best part of my Sunday, I hear Mark's motorcycle back. He's a very careful man, and he rides a big touring bike. It's kind of like a living room sofa of motorcycles. But I still worry, and it's not him that I worry about because he's so careful, and I worry about other people. People don't realize that if you're driving along the interstate and you see a motorcycle up there, if you hold up one finger, it can completely block that motorcycle. So I worry somebody's going to pull out in traffic and hit him one day. But, I never thought I would want somebody I love that much to have a motorcycle. But then I realized, we're only given a certain number of years in this world. And you got to do what your heart wants to do. And he hadn't had a motorcycle since he was in his 20s going to college. And I said, you know what? This is the time of life. We should do exactly what we want to do. So I found the bike on the ads and said, let's go look at it. And I'm awfully glad I did because that was 9 years ago, and he has loved that bike. So what I was going to tell you now with this fabric, people make the mistake of trying to line the cut edges up or the selvage edges, line them up just right. You don't do that. Understand that fabric is a moving, reactive fiber. This cotton is. And so it could have been wound slightly crooked on the bolt. You don't know. And I used to wash my fabrics, but I don't anymore because that's just too much work. And then I'd have to iron it. And who wants to iron? So what I was going to tell you is I take and kind of fold it in half. And then I lay it on the table. And I kind of just lightly massage it to where it's laying smooth. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay. I slightly massage it so that it finds, see, it doesn't even match anymore, but it finds the place where it's smooth. Like you don't want it to have bubbles or twists or anything like that. Just kind of where it looks comfortable. Then you gently fold it up and you do it again. And you don't worry about matching up this side. You don't worry about matching up. The main thing is getting it. I kind of do like this because that way I'm not forcing it. I'm just kind of massaging it. I told one, when I ran the Quilt Guild, I told one of the members that I lightly massaged my fabric to get it to lay nice and straight of grain. And I saw her over there. I mean, she was really massaging. It was the cutest thing. What a cutie. So now I can put my ruler on, and I had to, fold it so it's 4 layers now. Okay. And the reason I did that, I worked so hard on getting it all smooth, was so that you don't, have you ever cut a strip and it's like an elbow? It kind of bends. That's what happens. So you've got to make sure that your fabric is laying comfortably on the straight of grain, on the crosswise straight of grain. The lengthwise straight of grain is here, but there's also a crosswise. Then, oops. Okay, here it is. And I love this. This is a Martelli rotary cutter. And I got this when I had carpal tunnel syndrome. And I ended up having surgery just on this hand. And it was just overuse. They said my nerve was 7 times larger than it should have been. And I'm very lucky. When they released that ligament or something that goes across here, it worked. It worked beautifully. And I've never had any more problems. But I don't push it. This Martelli, it allows me to cut and sit down, because do you see how you have your finger on top of this safety guard? That gives you, your hand is in a straight level, and bye, Katie, sweetie. Okay, straight, your hand is straight. You've got some leverage over top with this finger. So I always come in and cut off about 1/2 inch. Because that way you've got all the edges even. Okay, then I put my ruler in place. I line up my fold along the line. And while it's in one place, I can come in and cut 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so out of the 8 strips I need, I just cut 6 of them. So it doesn't get much faster than that. And sometimes I wasn't pushing on it quite good enough. But anyway, so now there's 6 of my strips right there, that fast. Then if I don't move this too much, I can get 2 more without having to go through all of that again. But if in doubt, take the time to do that light massaging to get that fabric to want to lay on the crosswise straight of grain. So now anytime I have to move the ruler, I come back and make a new clean cut, because trust me, you don't want to take a chance one of the fabrics ended up catching back. So I line it up again, and I come in here and cut it 2, and it's 4, and that's it. I'm done with this fabric. So here's my 2 strips. So I'll just fold this back up, and there we are. So that was Deb's mini lesson of the day. Anyway, so did that make sense to y'all? I know you probably know exactly what you've done it a zillion times. You know that, but I always think, in case there's a new person out there, if there's a new person out there, I want them to pick up on some of the little tips. I was self-taught. I did take an entry level. It was an adult continuing ed, and did a little sampler quilt. In fact, I keep saying I want to show you that, but I did do a little sampler quilt, but mostly I just kind of had to figure it out as I went. So now I love teaching and giving tips and stuff that I've learned along the way, because thank goodness I've learned a few things. All right. So, I see, looks like chatting has stopped. How is everyone? Can you still hear me? Earlier, we had the sound go out. Who knows what that was about? But I'm probably down to about my last 5 minutes, guys. So, if you have any questions, give me a holler. What if I stop this? Wouldn't that be awful? Oh, yay, thank you. Yeah, June Taylor, and it's the best. They have a new brand now that does the kind of the same thing, but I have this ruler in 4 sizes. My biggest is like 18 by 24, and that's a dream because then you don't have to fold the fabric up as much. But the new kind that they have, I don't know if it's a Quilter Select, but it doesn't come as in a larger size as June Taylor. I've had people say, oh, I've had one of those for years, never knew how to use it. It's like, oh my gosh, you're kidding. But it makes such short work of cutting. So, any questions today? Anything that you're working on that anything that you're working on that you'd like to ask about? Any advice? If it's about hexagons, don't do them. No, I'm teasing. If it's about sunbonnet suit, don't do them. Those are 2 of my least favorite things in this world. I have never done a hexie. I've been tempted, but I'm not going to do it. I'm staying tough on the no hexies. Yes, I have seen those cutters. Not AccuQuilt. Maybe it's AccuCut. I've seen them. I just wonder. I know how hard it is to keep a rotary cutter sharp, and I'm wondering how hard is it to keep that little paper type blade sharp. Oh, Michelle's leaving. Mwah! Yes, I will be here next Sunday. I sure will. So we will see you then, my Michelle. I just miss hearing Michelle's voice, but at least this is better than nothing, huh? Take good care, sweetie. Hi to Sandy and Patrick. Mwah. So, I only have to cut 8 more fabrics. The shame of this? I've heard people say, oh, we should have smell-o-vision or whatever. I want to be able to hand this to y'all. Can you cut this for me? I think that would be really nice. I could have these strips all cut in no time if y'all would just help. Oh, putting zippers into bags. Yes. I'm one of those zipper people who believes in basting a zipper into place before you stitch it. I used to hate zippers, hated them. And I learned I baste the fabric together and nice big stitches so you can easily get it open when you want to use the zipper. And then I baste the zipper into place before I really sew it. And of course, you got to use a zipper foot because otherwise you're fighting on it. I also do zippers in vinyl and use a Teflon or a silicone sheet under part of your edge of your zipper to keep the vinyl from sticking, or baby powder, but you don't want to get it in your machine. Glue base, then, now there we go. Busy Pat had a great idea. This is how this woman gets so much done. She's smart. That's great. That's a wonderful idea. I use glue and I'm talking just Elmer's white glue. I use glue to put appliques, hold them down until I applique it too. Because glue can do a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Let's see. She didn't really do you a favor, did she? I found when my grandkids were over yesterday, if I asked them to do something that was too hard, I'd go, I'll go ahead and do it. And I thought, that's not a good thing. I need to teach them to do it themselves. But it's just like in high school. Raise your hand if in typing class you skip the part on learning how to do the numbers and the symbols on the top row. I faked my way through numbers and symbols. I didn't want to learn them. I learned all my letters, but no. You passed, so yes, you did your favor, I guess so. But so I told my kids, I said, I want you all to take typing, because we knew by that time, computers were going to be big things. You had to know how to type. But I said, please do me a favor. Promise me that you'll learn the numbers and the symbols on that top row. Don't do like I did and ignore that part of it and kind of fudge your way through. Not one of my kids paid attention to the numbers and symbols. Now, when you took typing, did you learn? Were you a good girl and you said, I'm going to learn those numbers and symbols on the top row, or did you kind of just have to go back later and do it? Isn't it funny, too, that we thought that computers would get rid of paper, that we would no longer use paper so much? And no, we still use plenty of paper. So you type all kinds of college documents and things. Use tabs on the end of each zipper, too, in pouches. Now, that's a great idea, because you're right. It's not hard to use a zipper, but getting it started and a tab, Busy Pat, that is amazing. Good job. Good job. So, I think for dinner tonight, we're having tacos. My daughter gave me a bucket full of tomatoes, and real homegrown tomatoes are very precious to me. So I said, Mark, we're going to have recipes. We're going to have dinners that use up tomatoes. So we had to think of something besides bologna and BLTs. So tacos are tonight. And, it's easy. Brown up the hamburger, throw the taco seasoning in. And so we're going to, and in fact, though, the other day, he had bought 2 avocados a week ago. And the other day he came home and said, I bought 2 more avocados. I thought we might need them. So I think we're going to have some guacamole. I've got a pretty good recipe for guacamole. But I do not use cilantro. Oh my gosh. When I taste cilantro, it's Lemon Joy dish soap. Oh, cannot handle cilantro. Oh, yes. I can see where if you were an organ player, if you were a piano player, yeah, you had really good coordinated fingers. Oh my gosh, Bonnie, 95 words a minute. No wonder you're our best chatter in here. Wow. You're having an Italian day, spaghetti and pizza. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, this week we did have spaghetti last weekend. Then I made chicken parmesan. Oh, it came out good. It's a good dinner when Mark doesn't talk while he's eating. And then we had Domino's pizza the other night. Well, guys, y'all are the best. Thank you so much. They said there's 8 chatters on right now. I'm any of you that are here, feel free to speak up and ask questions, and tell me to take a breath like Bonnie does. So I love chicken parmesan, and it came out really good. I pounded it. I cut the breast in half thin-wise and then pounded a little, and it was real tender. It was real good. They're shy. Yeah, that's me. I'm a shrinking violet. Actually, I am, but on something like this, I have fun. Well, guys, I will see you next Sunday, and thank you for coming and joining me today. And I didn't have anything really exciting to show you, but a few things that hopefully might give you ideas. And so now there'll be 2 videos of the live stream since we lost our volume during part of it. But have a great, great week. And See if you can set aside a little time to do something that feeds your soul. It has been nice chatting with you today. To Pat, to Bonnie, Michelle, Katie, Becky, thank you. Oh, Saddles and what was it? Saddlebags and Saddles and Melissa. Melissa didn't talk much, but it was so great seeing all of you, and you make my day. So thank you very much. And slow down a little, Bonnie, on that typewriter. You might start a fire. I'm just teasing. Y'all have a great week, and see you again on Our Time to Quilt. Bye-bye, guys. Oh, bye-bye.